So welcome John King to the Berks County Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, one of our members of the Berks County Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thank you for being here. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself? When did you start playing music? How long have you been playing?
Well, I was told I started singing when I came out. That's a story my mom told me. Came out and sang in key of C, just whatever that is. I'm not perfect pitch, so I wouldn't know. But I started singing in church at a young age, the little kids choir, New Hope Baptist Church. Most of the time I was up there with my mother, because, she was my inspiration singing. So, yeah, so it started there. And then one of my friends came over with this record, oh my God, Led Zeppelin. And we put it on the hi-fi. And my mom come running down the steps, turn that noise off. And we had it blasted up too, so. But that, got me into the hard rock. Okay. But rock and roll, I was there just about from the beginning. I was born in 1952. I have a sister 13 years older than me, so she was right there. So everything that came out that was popular, I listened to. I heard it because she collected records, and she would have little dances at the house, and I'd have to go to dances with her because my mom, I was a chaperone. Sure. So when she was 16, you do the math, I was a pain in the butt. But, so I had to go to these dances with my sister, and so I learned how to dance. She taught me how to dance, and we sang together, and all the new stuff that came out when, it started out with the Ink Spots, and just a lot of the older groups. Jackie Wilson, one of my favorites. I mean, I tried to imitate him. Then the rest, the Temptations of Four Tops, and on and on and on, And so when I became, I guess, like 13, I got my first band. Practiced down in my basement with a bunch of kids from the neighborhood. We didn't know how to play, but I knew how to sing, and the keyboard player could kind of play. I mean, he had to read notes. He had to read. So it was like taking songs out of his playbook, which was like Old MacDonald Out of Farm and stuff like that. Yeah, but at least I could sing with him, But then he started to learn some stuff, and then a couple of my friends, a little younger than me, were in bands, and they got guitars and stuff. And next thing you know, they're playing at the block parties, and the Olivets Boys Club had a block party every summer. And they were my friends, and I'm like, man, wow, look at these guys, I can sing better than that guy, in my head, I didn't know. But, and somebody heard me sing and asked me to join their band. My first professional band was called Slippery Sticks during the disco era. A fellow by the name of, Larry. Excuse me, trying to remember his last name, but Kozlowski. Yeah, Larry Kozlowski. His dad had a construction company too. But Larry played keyboards, and he got all these guys together, and we were like the first Reading disco band. Wow. Yeah, and that lasted about a year and a half. We had Mike, and Tom, and Danny. That was our group. We wrote it for a while. And then somebody else heard me sing, and next thing you know, I'm in Burning House. Oh. And
I've heard a little bit about Burning House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was the original singer in Burning House, and there was a lot of bands in between all that, before all that, but that was like one of the notable bands that I was in. And then I figured it's time to, try something on my own, and here I am today.
With the John King Band.
With the John King Band, yeah.
Yeah.
We had bands like, we got inducted with my first original band, Clench.
Okay.
So that, I gotta give the guys props on that. Those guys, we played all the biker clubs and, the Shingle Shack, the Black and White, the Ponderosa. The Beverly Hills used to be a big biker bar. And I was told I was the first black man ever to set foot in the Reading Motorcycle Clubhouse because they loved that band so much.
That's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, so props to those guys. And we were a fixture there for a while, and so that was like a breakthrough. Color barriers.
Wow. Yeah, so quite a history. You definitely have contributed a lot to the Berks County music scene. And you've played at Magical History Tour, correct? With
3 times. Yeah, I got members that I played with, Bobby Newton, he used to go to our church. He was a member of our church and sang with the choir, and he had his own really good gospel group, and so he was an inspiration. Last summer, I asked him, hey man, come on up with me, and it was great because I never got to perform with him before. He would be out there while I'm performing. Hey Bobby, come on up, and he'd come up and sing a song or two, But this was like a show, so it was good. And then Sam, I guess he'll be coming in too. Sam Tallarico, he was one of the guys in the same era as Bobby Newton, and guys that I used to, have to sneak out, to see these guys, and sneak into these clubs and stuff under the guise of a shoe shine boy.
Wow.
To, go to some of these places that they were playing. And then, you had Mark Burford in here before me. He lived on Buttonwood Street. And a friend of mine, Dave Capana, who was also with the group this past season, he had a little group that he started, and they wanted me to sing, but I was too shy, and I'm just going back and forth through time, but I met Mark through Dave Capana, who they were neighbors, and Mark had a band, and they called themselves the Incredible Soul Tet, and that was the group Mark was in.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite venue that that you've played locally or even nationally?
Well, I liked. I played with some national acts in my time. Dr. John, Leon Russell, just local guys. A promoter by the name of Jim Jones, who did a lot of promotions around here that got a lot of the big acts into Reading and Berks County. He promoted the local groups, so he would get local groups to warm up for these national acts. And I got to warm up for, Kansas. Yeah, at the Silo. So that was big.
Yeah, that is.
That was big.
That's really neat.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That was with Clench. So and it was like bits and pieces of Clench, but I wouldn't call it Clench. We were doing original music. My buddy Phil Stallone, who passed away just recently, he was with Spellbound. I was with that group too, and Phil and I had, we were the original Spellbound too, and we were writing music. Phil and I were writing music, and he talked me into going to Philadelphia to record at Sigma Sound Studio, where Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, recorded, And David Bowie recorded the Young Americans out of there with Huff and Gamble and that crew. Well, we didn't have them producing us, but we were in that studio, and we did a couple of songs, an album. We came out with an album, and it got released. Y102 heard about us and put us on rotation. Well, our promoter, our manager, sent stuff to them. So we were on regular rotation for about 3 to 4 months. We were on after the, what was the name of that group? They were from out of Philly. God, I can't think of their name. Boy, can we cut? The Hooters, right. They played the little, the Hooters. So we were on after that. All You Zombies. That was the name of their song that came out. And we came on right after that. And our song was Half Crazy. And that was, the lyrics went like, we're looking down the barrel of a loaded gun, trying to stay out of range, but where can we run? Slick sliding moves, too fast to see. Through the eyes of the media, they say we are free. Well, you must be half crazy. And that was the first line,
Fantastic.
And the song still rings today true, I think. So,
Sure does.
So, Y102 don't play it anymore. I don't know why, but, it was a good hit. I mean, they called me up and said, stop getting your friends to request this song. We know your friends are doing it. I said, no, and they just, said, well, we're going to take it off, if this keeps up. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I mean, I'm just a guy from Reading,
Sure. Yeah.
I can't help it. They want to hear it again. They like the message. They like the song. It had a heavy edge to it. So, is what it is.
Do you have any advice for a future musician or somebody that is now, in their younger years and looking to be, break into the music scene?
Well, I would say to anybody starting out that wants to be a professional, full-time musician, you got to work harder than anybody else. And you keep yourself busy, stay active. Be active in your community. Try not to make any enemies. And be true to yourself.
Yeah, thank you for that. And thank you so much for sharing your history. We just are thrilled to have you here and have you part of the Berks County Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's very obvious that you have contributed a whole lot to the culture in Berks County and the music scene in Berks County, and you're a part of the reason that Berks County's music scene is so great and has such a great history. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.